today I want to go over some of my beauty empties. This is going to be a repurchase or pass kind of video. I kind of lost my voice. I may or may not have been yelling. If it sounds a little bit weird, that's why. If you're new to my channel, welcome in. My name is Carrie. This should be a fairly short video, you know. Empties are hard. They're hard to do. I have a mixture here though. I have like some skincare, some sunscreen, I have some makeup items, and some hair care. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. I thought about breaking this up into categories, but I think I'll just randomly grab from this bin, however I grab it, just kind of off the top, and we'll go from there. So the first one that I have is a sugar scrub. This one is from Tree Hut. This is the Sugar Plum Berries. I love using sugar scrubs or just like body scrubs in general, like on my legs. I don't actually use it on the rest of my body. I will use like facial scrubs or like exfoliators in the shower, but I will use this on my legs like after every single time that I shave because I just want like a super smooth leg. You know, you wear a lot of shorts here in Florida. So I'm always looking for good scrubs. The best one that I found was actually one that my son made me for like a Mother's Day, maybe last year at his daycare. It was like some homemade thing. Oh my gosh, I should ask her what she used. But yeah, this one was okay. This came in a set of 3 and they were all like themed around the smell of like, you know, sugar plums and holiday. And so I was waiting to kind of pull these out for like the holiday time frame. I think this was good. It's a really fine sugar, and so it's easy to use, easy to blend out. They don't hurt or anything like that, but I really like something that has like kind of a lot of oils in it because I just feel like I have super dry skin and I want something that's even more moisturizing. Kind of leaves my legs a little glowy because like I said, we wear a lot of shorts here in Florida. So I think this was good. I know that it's not my favorite. I'm using another one now and I'll have to like link what it is in the description box. It's my favorite. I've repurchased it several times. I've only ever found it at like TJ Maxx and Marshalls, but I love it. I'm obsessed with it. It's like a foaming one. It's so good. So while I think this was okay, it was like mid-range okay. Like I liked it, but it's trash. It's not a repurchase for me. All right, let's do a makeup one. This is the Morphe Continuing Setting Mist. I like the sprayer. I think that was my favorite part about it. I would use this to wet my brushes a lot, and I find myself doing that with a lot of setting sprays, more so than like setting my actual makeup. I find that I prefer like a fixing mist more than a setting spray, and I just don't think this was my best setting spray in my collection. I think it was okay, and I think the hype around it was probably the sprayer itself, but for me, it just, the performance was like mid-range. It didn't overly set my face. It wasn't something that I actually noticed, like the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Like I notice a longer lasting foundation when I use that. I don't notice that with this. So this one is just a trash for me. The next is a skincare item, and this is the Retinol Serum here from the INKEY list. I picked up a bunch of stuff from the INKEY list last year, and I had it, like, but I didn't use it. It was in all my skincare backups, and I finally pulled this out because I do like to use retinols sparingly. Like I will use them on very targeted areas of my face, but I also like it like on my neck and my chest. Like I think they perform comparably to higher end brands that have like the same ingredients in them. I actually think this did a pretty good job. This U or V or whatever the hell this is, like starts to get more prominent. I can tell that I'm not using it, as opposed to like I can tell one really, really works well when I am using it. So I think this was good. It wasn't a miracle cure, but I love that it's very inexpensive. This one I would repurchase, but I wouldn't repurchase it for the sake of repurchasing it. Like I wouldn't go after the INKEY list retinol specifically, but if my skincare stock got low and I was like, okay, I need a retinol in rotation, I would then think of this because it's inexpensive and I would pick this up. Let's move on into a makeup item. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push-Up Lashes. This is my second repurchase of this. I'm a big fan of like these plastic wands. I thought this was a super good mascara from Charlotte. I don't hear a lot of people talking about this, but I think it's that lengthening and very clean looking mascara. I don't think it adds a lot of volume, but I'm not somebody who looks for a lot of volume. I'm somebody who looks for length more often. And I liked the formula on this. I like something that's a little bit sticky and tacky. That may not be a lot of people's personal preference. They might not like something that's kind of that sticky, but I do. And I thought this was a really, really good mascara, like formula wise, for being sticky, for lasting a really long time. time for being super pigmented, but not like a super long dry down time that gave me that very clean length. This one is a repurchase for me. I think I have some in my collection right now that I just prefer that are a little bit less expensive than this. So I don't want to run out and repurchase this, but like, I do like it. Like, if I was there and I was like, ooh, I need to pick up a new mascara, like this one is a trusted one for me. The next one we have is skincare. So I got into StriVectin like the end of last year, beginning of this year. And so I picked up a couple of like StriVectin products. I saw some of them were on sale because I think they were repackaging, potentially even reformulating when I was looking on Ulta or Sephora. I can't remember, but I will list it in the description box. So this one was the Intensive Concentrate for Stretch Marks and Wrinkles. I didn't really target my stretch marks or wrinkles. Like, I could have like put it on my thighs where I get some stretch marks, and I just didn't find myself doing that. I was finding myself using this like on my neck and my chest, and I liked it for that, but I don't think that it did anything. Like, it says firmness and elasticity appear improved. Wrinkles and stretch marks appear visibly diminished after 8 weeks. So I liked it. I think it's a little bit pricier. I kind of felt like this does what maybe any normal moisturizer does in keeping me hydrated. The hydration itself just seems to reduce some of the fine lines and like, you know, like all of that, just extra hydration on me seems to do the trick. I wish I would have tested it on my stretch marks to see if it had done anything extra instead of kind of just using it on my upper half. This is just not one that I would repurchase. I have a sunscreen here. This one is from Supergoop. This is their mineral sunscreen. I don't like this. Like, I think it's not enough for me. I think it's pricey because it's Supergoop. I think these become super popular. This is just not my favorite brand. Like, I tried this and I was like, what does this do over other sunscreens that I can't get for less money? I felt like this left a serious white cast and it turned really quickly. Like, I could tell that the smell started to turn like chalky and old. That hasn't happened to me with very many products. Even with sunscreen in it, I haven't seen them turn as quickly as this one did. And this is supposed to be a barely there with a natural finish that wears well under makeup. Like, that's exactly the opposite of what I found with this. I just found like, no, it's a really big white cast. This one is a trash for me. Here's another one from the INKEY list. This is the Retinol Eye Cream. I'm really into making sure that I like moisturize this part of my eye because I can see like, you know, this is where my crow's feet are starting to come in. I don't necessarily see like wrinkles or fine lines under my eyes just yet, but like right here sometimes. And so I do like to target my eyes, and I wanted something that was like retinol, but wasn't like, you know, made me super sensitive because it's around my eye area, and that's already an area that I'm like, ooh, you know, I get really sensitive around my eyes. And I actually really liked this because I felt like it never irritated my skin, super inexpensive. I like eye creams. I don't want to pay out of the wazoo for them because I kind of feel like they're inflated. There's not always like eye creams that I feel like are necessary that you couldn't just use moisturizer. But when it's an eye cream that has retinol in it that's targeted like specifically to be safe around the eyes, I'm totally for it. So this is actually one that I would repurchase. I'm working through a ton of different like eye creams right now. Right now I'm using one from Tula that I'm just not head over heels about. I'm sure I'll put that in the next Beauty Empties video, but so I'm not gonna repurchase this right now, but I definitely would. Like, when I run out, this is something that I would definitely repurchase. Another makeup item that I have is from the Creme shop. This is their Très Cheek. This is the liquid blush. This is one of my favorite drugstore blushes, and it's like a unique one, like not something that I would normally get. I'm not a like cushion kind of makeup gal. Like, I don't like foundations and cushion, but I tried this because I picked this up in CVS, I think while we were waiting for a prescription to be filled, and this was like, you know, a year ago, a little over a year ago, actually, maybe even longer than that. This is such a good blush from the Creme shop that I ended up picking up like the bronzer and the highlighter. They do not beat this. Like, this is super, super good. And I've only seen like one other person on YouTube talking about it, but it's like really, I mean, it's totally empty. Like, I can't even, oh, look, I got some if I slammed my finger in there. It's just really, really pigmented, and it has like the slightest sheen to it, and it's the super, super long lasting formula. So it just plays well with everything, sits well on top of powders. I think the reason that I like it so much is because it's like a liquid, but it turns to a powder formula. It's just kind of super unique. Like it just barely soaks up in the sponge when you're applying it, that it's like this perfect airbrushed look, and you notice that it just lasts all day. See, this is like $15. Of course, all the prices will be listed down below with the links to everything. But yeah, I think it's not super expensive, and it's my only really enjoyable cushion format liquid beauty product, if I said that correctly. So this is a definitely would repurchase. My collection is so big though. Like right now I'm just feeling like I've done myself in, and there is no sense in me going and buying this again, but I highly recommend it. And if I was ever in CVS, I'd be like, yeah, I'm probably gonna get it. So this is a repurchase. Even where I put my finger in there, you guys, it stained it. So I feel like if you're not into something that's staining, it probably wouldn't work for you, but I personally don't mind it. I actually like it when a product stains my cheeks because I don't like to reapply my makeup. Like hardly ever. Like I don't mind touching up with powder, but that's about it. So when my blush stays vibrant all day, it's like the best feeling. Like flipping up the visor or just checking myself in the mirror and I'm like, damn, that blush is good. All right, we'll do another skincare. This was the StriVectin neck cream. It is now repackaged. It doesn't look exactly like this, but I think I got this right before they did like repackage most of their stuff. And so there's like a lot more lettering on it, but I was specifically targeting the neck cream because I have like tech neck. Like I cannot stand it. I gained like quite a bit of weight over COVID when like the first 8 months I was working from home, and yeah, I didn't realize that it was that much weight, but like it moved to my face. Like so much of the weight was here, and so when I lost it, I noticed like, oh no, I've given myself what I like dreaded, which was, you know, kind of like extra like skin, and I'm starting to get those lines and I hate it. Like it's one of my insecurities when I'm watching the videos back that I can see those lines. And so I was specifically targeting something that was like a neck cream or the décolleté area. This is like in a concentrate, so it's supposed to be like a little bit more specific in formulation to target those areas. So I think it was good. I just don't think it was great. It actually turned pretty quickly on me. It was probably an older product when it was sold, and so it was like at its, you know, end of life anyway by the time I opened it, and I used it really fast. I feel like I actually have used 2 of these, but I wasn't like saving my beauty empties to do these videos until recently, and so I was like, oh, I already threw one of these away. So this was my second one, but I bought 2 initially. This wasn't a repurchase. And now they're like in a different size even. This one was the 1.4 fluid ounces. I think StriVectin is good overall. I just think it's a higher price point and I wouldn't go back to it. I think I would explore other ones to see how they worked in a lower price range. So this one's just trash. Let's do some bath care and hair care. So the first one that I have is the Soap and Glory Clean On Me Hydrating Body Wash. I have repurchased this so many times now, you guys. I can't even tell you how many times. It's pretty inexpensive, but this particular one, the Clean On Me, it's like the hydrating one, is like a lotiony body wash that isn't overly scented. So when I'm looking for body washes now, it's so much different than when I was a kid, which was like, I always tried to go with the most smelly, like great scent, not smelly, but the best scented product. And now I'm like, do not put extra added scents in there or scents that like happen to irritate me, because I get a little bit more irritated as I get a little bit older. And I find myself going for different products depending upon, you know, what I'm washing, because I get more sensitive to my sensitive areas as I get older. And I'm like, do not give me any synthetic, nothing. Don't give me any added fragrance. I try to stay away from things that irritate me. I got it for my husband on a whim. So what I found with this was it worked really well for all areas of my body, and it was super inexpensive. And I think they sell this at like CVS, Walmart, Target. Like I think they sell it many places in addition to Ulta, but its price point and the fact that it was like this lotiony, hydrating, really good, not super added fragrance, but didn't irritate me, I just kept repurchasing it. My husband's like lapping it up. We are using one now and I hate it. It comes in like this big container and it's like the wateriest formula ever. So I don't think everything from Soap and Glory is great, but I think this one is really, really good. And because it's so inexpensive, and like my husband and he's gonna drench himself in body wash like it's going out of style, I think that getting something inexpensive is really nice, and I'm glad that it works for the both of us. So this is a definite repurchase for me. Let's move on into hair products. So I have always had really fine, thin hair. It's always been really long. That's how I've always worn it. It's down most of the time. I don't use a lot of dry shampoos. I wash my hair pretty frequently. In Florida, it's super humid and my hair just has a tendency to frizz out. A lot of my videos, you could see how frizzy my hair is because it wasn't fully dried yet. And I recently just started blow drying my hair. Believe it or not, I was the kind of person that never dyed it, never curled it, didn't put any like product in my hair other than shampoo and conditioner, and I never used a blow dryer on it. I've gotten away from that now, but I've noticed what I really look for after testing a lot of different like shampoos and conditioners is something that just makes my hair lay flat. Like I want it thin, I want it smooth and silky. I don't want anything that gives me extra body. I want extra moisture in my hair without it being too much moisture and causes my hair to get frizzy. So yeah, it's a lot to work with. So I'm always really trying to like target things that say that they're non-frizz or, you know, no frizz or frizz resistant. And it's a hit or miss. Actually, some shampoos and conditioners that say that they're no frizz actually do give me more frizz than normal. So I've been trying a lot of those that like don't have harsh sulfates in them, that claim to be smoothing or extra hydrating. But back onto the product, this one is the Briogeo Don't Despair Repair, and this one's the Super Moisture Conditioner. I loved it. It's so pricey though that I will try and find alternatives to this, but I loved it so much that if I couldn't find a replacement for this, I would get this again. I just think that it makes my hair really smooth. Like, it doesn't claim to be non-frizzing, but yeah, it doesn't have any harsh sulfates in it. I don't ever feel like it's weighing my hair down, but I do feel like it's hydrating. Locks in some of the moisture to really help me reduce some of the frizz that I get. So I don't know. I know that it's very expensive. I just really, really enjoyed this. I did try a different one from Briogeo and I wasn't as big of a fan. So yeah, that one is a repurchase for me. The next is also a conditioner. I go through conditioners much faster, by the way, you guys. Like shampoos are like, meh, you know, like they're okay. Like I use a tiny, tiny bit just like everybody else. But conditioners, because my hair is like so long, I use a lot of product. Like I want it lathered in like a thick layer all the way to my tips. Like I want every part of it moisturized. So I use so much conditioner. I have to have quite a bit of product. And so this next one doesn't come with a lot. It's the Olaplex number 5. This is the Bond Maintenance Conditioner. I've repurchased this one other time. So this is my second bottle. I wouldn't repurchase it though, because it's on the more expensive side and because it's such a little bit of product, it doesn't get me very far. And I don't think it's the greatest. I prefer the Briogeo more than I prefer this one. But if I use this 2 days in a row, I kind of feel like my hair is just like heavier. And yeah, I know people are like, you're not supposed to condition your hair every day. Like that's not happening. Like dry shampoo in my hair looks like death. Like it doesn't look good on the second day. And because it's so thin, it's like obviously frizzy the very next day. And so I really do like to condition my hair every day. I'm old school, I guess. Because this is pricier and because it just doesn't perform as well as the Briogeo and because it's so small, this is just trash for me. Let's move on into brow product. I have 3 brow products. I think we can all agree that we go through brow products as like part of makeup like the most frequently, even more so than mascara. The first one that I have is the Trestique Define Sculpt and Set Brow Pencil. I am sad to say that I don't know if they make the shade anymore. Trestique is an indie brand. I got my first one that I've ever tried in BoxyCharm and I loved it so much that I ended up repurchasing it on my own. And one of the reasons that I love this more than any other brow product that I've tried is the undertone. This just matches my hair perfectly. Like I am wearing it today and it's the same like cool toned brown that my hair is, and so it looks the most natural on me, in my opinion. It's like a multi-use, multitasking product. It does come with a brow gel on the other side. I don't use the brow gel, but that might be nice for some people because they might like a product that has like the pencil and the gel to set the brows. I just don't set mine. Like they go where they want to go. It has like the diamond shaped tip to it. I didn't think that I liked that. Like, I feel like I kind of prefer a thinner, like, micro brow pencil, but for whatever reason, I love this. It's a chalkier formula. Like, it's definitely creamy, but not overly creamy. Like, it's more of a dry consistency. And most of my eyebrow pencils are actually not like that. They're much creamier. But for whatever reason, I just loved how this applied. I still felt like I got a precise line in outlining. I still felt like it lasted a long time and it was still creamy enough to apply. And so there were a lot of things that it just did really well. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely hooked on this pencil. When I went to Trestique's website recently, I found Latte. I did not find the shade Americano. If I'm incorrect, you guys, I will put it in the description box because I hope that's not the case, because this is the shade that works so well for me. And so unless they have renamed the shade, but it's still like the same undertone and all of that, then I'm gonna be like super bummed, because number one reason that I loved this freaking thing is because it's got the greatest undertone ever. This does come in only 2 shades on their website, but it is still available for purchase. I just think that, you know, I would repurchase this over and over and over and over again. It's not something that I hear a lot of people talking about, but I'm half addicted to it. Precisely My Brow Pencil from Benefit. This is another multi-repurchased item. It's ultra fine. It has a spoolie on the other end, and I have several of them now because I've repurchased this multiple times, but I also like to keep backups because it's just that good for me. This is one that I love going back to. It's popular for a reason. I keep them in different shades. I think I started to say that, which is I have some in 2.5 and then some in 3. The 3 still works for me, but it's like obvious that I wore eye pencil that day. 2.5 is more my shade, and it's closer to my actual undertone, to my natural hair. Not as much as the Americano and from Trestique, but pretty darn close. And this is the longest lasting eye pencil I have in my collection. Literally will come back at the end of the day and I'm like, ooh, okay, which brow pencil did you use? Because girl, they're still on and they're still strong. Just always this one. Like, it never smudges, it never budges. And my other ones, they pretty much always come off. So this is a multi-repurchased item. Would always want to repurchase this and keep in my collection, so that's not trash. So the next product is actually the final product. This is the retractable brow pencil that is waterproof, and this one is from the Sephora collection. This is another one that comes with like a spoolie on one side. It's the ultra fine pencil. I think there's like a little bit left. Like, could I get some more out of this? This one is actually in the shade 1.5 Taupe. I got this because I was trying a full face of Sephora collection and I thought that this was really good. Like, I almost thought this was kind of a dupe for the Benefit Precisely My Brow. And it says that it's waterproof, not even as long lasting as the Benefit Precisely My Brow. They're both very similar in consistency. They both feel very creamy. They're not super chalky or waxy or anything like that. They deposit a good amount of pigment. I feel like they take me just the same amount of time to apply. So I think that they're very similar. Just the biggest difference is this is not as long lasting as the Benefit Precisely My Brow. Do I think that this one is awesome? Like, yeah, it's good. Like, I would repurchase it. Am I going to? Probably not over the other two. So that one for now is gonna be trash, but it's a good product. That is everything that I had, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know that sometimes these can be kind of helpful. I hope it was. I hope it was a little bit interesting. If you're new to my channel, I hope you consider subscribing. I'm out of here and I will catch you all in my next video. Bye, guys.